Hopefully this inspires you to do some self-care, get yourself a little wellness tool because you don't need a reason. You deserve it. Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of She's in Sync, the podcast for women looking to have a safe transition off birth control and heal their hormones naturally. We are going to do a different but really fun episode today because the week this is being released is the week of my half birthday. So my birthday is December 27th, and you could argue it's not the greatest birthday being around the holidays. I honestly, like growing up, it wasn't the greatest because it was like we were all on break, yes, but like everyone's doing their own thing with their families. And we would always travel down to see our extended family. And, there's just like family drama. And it was 6 hours away. And we were the only ones that didn't live where the rest of my parents' families lived. They grew up in the same city. So we would always be the one that would have to travel. And so we'd always go down like the night before Christmas or the 2 nights before Christmas. And then we'd always leave after because my dad's parents were divorced. And so we would do like the night before Christmas, my dad's side, day of Christmas, my mom's, and then the day after Christmas with my dad's mom. So the day after that, my birthday, we would always drive 6 hours back, and everyone's tired and grumpy and hungover and just, like that type of thing. And I feel like when you've been like eating and drinking and all that, it's just kind of like by the time my birthday rolled around, it was like, I'm kind of over this. Like, I don't really want to celebrate. Like, I want to be at home and like detox and, like be in my comfy clothes and just relax. So it's gotten better since become an adult and I make more of the decisions in my life. But this isn't a podcast about a pity party about my Christmas birthday. I promise. But everyone, when I tell them that, they're always like, oh, how is that? And I feel like I have to like give a backstory with it. But this is going to be the week of my half birthday. So I've always thought about celebrating my half birthday versus my actual birthday because of all those things, but I never actually have gotten organized enough to do it. And I'm just not a big, I just don't like celebrate a lot. You know what I mean? Like, birthdays weren't like a really big thing in my house. We got like dessert or cake or whatever. When we were younger, we had parties of course, but it was never like built up like some people who like love their birthday and take their birthday off. And, for me, I'm just like, oh, it's just another day. I work most days when it's my birthday, or around it, just because like that's what lights me up, like talking to you guys and seeing my clients and all that. So because of that though, I had a fun idea of doing my favorite wellness things, or yeah, I guess they're things. So this could be a gift to yourself. This could be a gift to a friend, a wellness friend of yours. This could be not just a gift. It could just be like because you want it, right? Like you don't have to be like, oh, it's my birthday or it's my half birthday or it's Christmas or it's Valentine's Day. Like that's why I can get this thing for me. It's like you should invest in these wellness things for yourself because it's a long-term investment. That's how I like to look at health things. It's an investment in yourself, right? Like you're not wasting money. You're investing in your health with these things. And if it brings you joy, like these things I'm going to talk to you about, I've had for so long. Like I've made my money back by investing in these things, even though some of them were thousands of dollars. So these are my personal favorite wellness tools. And if you are thinking about any of these things for yourself, or again, like a friend or a loved one, the link in the description or the show notes will have in the description all of these links, and there will be some discount codes in there too. So that's a fun little bonus for you. So let's dive in. So my top favorite wellness tool is my hot yoga dome. And this is one I have certainly made my money back on. So my hot yoga dome, this is like literally what it's called. When COVID hit, that's when I started looking into this because I used to go to hot yoga classes. Like I love hot yoga. Some people, you love it or you hate it. I absolutely love it. Like I love sweating. I love that feeling of detox. You'll see that as a theme with these things too. With my next one, I don't like to be cold, which is funny. Maybe that's like the December baby in me, but I don't like to be cold. And so I would much rather be warm and sweating than cold. And so I have the compact size with this, but I started looking for the hot yoga dome over COVID. because all the hot like gyms and stuff were closed, hot yoga studios were closed. And so I was like doing yoga in my bedroom. I'd like close the door and I'd put like a space heater, but like it just wasn't the same. It wasn't the same. And then there'd be like Blue would be barking, and then it's like I'd hear Jared outside rustling, and I'm just like, okay, this like isn't the same. So I started thinking, how can I recreate this? So I first went down the path of like infrared sauna, like finding a room. Like I was like for a second, like trying to convince Jared to like convert this room, put like infrared space heaters on the top so I could like use it as my office, it's a guest bedroom, and also like a yoga studio for me. And he was not having it. I was like, I will pay for it, but you have to get like a special electrician and like all these things. And like he said no. So I was like, okay, fine. So what else can I do? So I found this hot yoga dome, and it's literally a dome. You blow it up. There's like a fan, you blow it up, and then you put a space heater, and then you put a sauna pot in it. So it creates not only the heat, but it creates the humidity too of like what a hot yoga studio has. And that's what gets you to sweat, because that was one thing. Like I had the heat component in my with my space heater in my bedroom, but I didn't have the humidity part. So I wasn't really like sweating really or getting that like really good sweaty feeling afterward. And the yoga dome, it like insulates it. So, and it has like, I, it's in my basement. So it's in my basement. That's my own little dedicated little wellness area. We have like our workout space, and then we have my hot yoga dome. And then we have my next wellness tool, which I'll talk about, which is my infrared sauna. But it's nice because you can like, I just leave it deflated and like on the floor because it's in our unfinished basement. It like doesn't matter. I just move it out of the way for like walking around there. But you can also like fold it up and like easily put it away. So setup and tear down is super quick. Like the thing that takes the longest is just waiting for the dome to like get to optimal temperature. But honestly, if you like let it heat up for, I would say like 15 minutes at least, like I'd say like 15 to 20 minutes is like optimal, at minimum 10, just to get it heated up. That's like perfect. And then like the longer you're in there, like obviously you're building heat, and then it keeps going. And so you can get like, you get sweaty in there. Like you get a hot yoga workout. And I also love it because you can turn on, like it has different lights. So it has LED lights in there. So depending on my mood, I can like change it. I remember like normally I do like the blue or the purple, like that, those are my favorite, and there's different shades. So usually I do like some sort of shade of those. If I'm like looking for more chill, I might do the blue. If I'm more energized, I might do the purple. Different holidays, like I might do like green, and I might have like a Christmas playlist, like the Grinch or something like that. I remember one time when I was working at my old job, there was like this really frustrating situation at work when I was a manager, and I did the yoga and I made the dome red. I was like, I'm making this red. It matches my mood. So I like that. And it like, because it has the fan, like I plug in I take my laptop in there and I do like a YouTube class. And then I have my Spotify going in the back. So I basically am doing the class. I have my own music. I make my own Spotify playlist. Or the yoga studio I do go to, they share theirs online. And so I'll like use theirs. And it like really, you're like in your own little world, because I can't hear Blue barking. I can't hear what Jared's doing. Like I can't hear if Amazon's coming. Like you literally are in the dome, you're sweating, you're moving, the lights are turned off except for the LED lights, and you have your own music on. You can't hear anything outside of it. And the fan is like nice too, because that's like going at a lower level to like keep the dome up. So I love it. It was a little over $1,000. I want to say when I bought it, maybe a little bit more. I have the compact size with the window, but if you use the discount code, you can get, I think, 10% off. And this is when I for sure have made my money back on, like I said, because hot yoga studios are an investment. So if you love going somewhere to do hot yoga, great. Like that's like the one workout I leave my house for. And for me, I really like working out from home. I also don't have kids, right? So like I don't have kids that come bother me or like interrupt my workouts, but I like kind of like plugging it in to my, like based on my work schedule. So I used to be someone who, when I worked previously to work for myself, I'd like wake up, do like a 5 or 6 a.m. workout before my day. And I just realized like that served its purpose at that time in my life. And nowadays I really don't like doing that. And like one of the reasons I wanted, a very small reason, but like a small perk of having your own business and working from home, is like you don't have to do that. You have more flexibility with your schedule. So I wanted to be able to like I do it more after work now. So like after I record these podcasts, I was planning on it. I think I'm going to switch it up because it's so nice out. And I'm finishing up my period and I just don't have a lot of energy, but I was planning on working out today. But I like doing it after work nowadays more often than not because like it forces me to stop working, which I'm trying to have better boundaries with. And it also helps me with just like de-stressing after a day. And then I like shower or I sauna. So I've been more of a late afternoon workout gal, but definitely before dinner. I cannot work out after dinner. I don't know how people do that. So the reason I'm saying all that, I went on a tangent, but I like the hot yoga dome because I can do hot yoga on my own time versus having to, go to a specific class or be like chained to a certain time. So I really like that. And again, it heats up really, really fast. So I love it. This is my favorite tool. So if you like hot yoga, this is definitely something that is worth the money and you will make your money back. I promise you. Like and the quality is so good. Like I've had this for, gosh, 5 or 6 years now. And it works quite great and it's like tip top shape. The only thing I've had to like replace is the sauna pot. I've had to replace that 2 times within like 5 years. So like that's a bummer, but they're like $60 maybe. They're just like crappy ones, like they're just crappy, like mass produced in China. Like they're just not high quality, but there are no high quality ones. So when I reached out to the hot yoga dome people about it, I was like, do you have any other suggestions for like a sauna pot? Cause like this one keeps breaking. And they're like, unfortunately, not right now, but they said they're working on their own version. So I'm like hoping that that eventually comes to fruition. So that is wellness tool number one. The second one, kind of in the same line of thinking, is my infrared sauna. So I use the Sunlight and Solo sauna. And again, there's a discount code for you if you're interested in this. I have the Solo sauna, and the reason I got this was I'm just weird and I love sweating. I don't know, I love sweating and I love that feeling of detox. I don't know what it is. um Hopefully you guys don't think I'm crazy and like some of you really, I'm sure some of you can. But I like that, and then I also in my HTMA I had high levels of uranium. And so infrared sauna, it penetrates through the skin and it has so many benefits. One of the benefits of it is that it helps naturally detox. So if you have any heavy metals, it can help naturally detox those. It also helps with sleep, with nervous system, with boosting your immune system. So I've really found that to be really helpful when I get a cold. I bounce back from a cold like way faster, especially if I catch it early and do a sauna session like right when I start to like feel it. Like when I start to get like tired or like a scratchy throat, like if I hop in the sauna and like do a session, like sometimes it won't even like the cold won't even come to fruition. Like I know it sounds crazy, but like there's science behind that and I've experienced that. So it really does help with immune system and stress, like I said. And then it can help with promoting circulation. It helps with healing and recovery. So as someone who lifts weights and is pretty active, like and just getting older, I was like, what can I do to be proactive about my recovery and make it so that I'm feeling my best? And it's also just really helpful. Like there's been some research studies on it for helping with gut and skin and hormones. So, which like obviously impact everything. So, infrared sauna is just superior. I don't know all the science behind it. I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't do like a deep dive into it. I just trust that the sunlight, I know that I've listened to podcasts and stuff, is what I should say. Like, I know that there's lots of science behind infrared. I don't know like the science behind like the wavelengths and how it works and stuff like that. But if you're interested in that sunlight and is like super transparent about that, like that's why I chose their brand, because they back their claims up with science. And so I trust that. I trust someone who does that. But infrared is better for detoxifying and having all those benefits compared to like a steam sauna. So you sweat in a steam sauna, but because it doesn't have that infrared component and those different light waves, it's a different kind. It's not penetrating as deep and it's not like heating your body from the inside out, which is like the benefit of the infrared sauna. So, like I said, I have the solo sauna. That one, you literally, Jared calls it a coffin. You lay down and you like bring it up. And I actually like that better than one that you have to sit up in that's like bigger. The reason I went with that one was, again, because Jared said no, because with a regular sauna, we'd have to basically like find space for it, A, in our basement, and B, we'd have to have an electrician come out and like rewire and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, that's fine. That's like legit. And if his arguments weren't legit, I would push back against it. So I don't want anyone to be like, oh, she just does whatever he says. No, like I would argue back if that was legit, but I actually don't want to like pay an electrician to come and like do all that stuff anyways. So the solo one, you lay down, you can just plug it into your outlet, you let it warm up, you get in there and you like just sweat, you do your thing. And I listen to like podcasts while I'm saunaing, which by the way, the podcast I'm listening to right now is Love Trapped with Clayton Eckert from The Bachelor. Highly recommend, especially if you're interested in like human behavior, psychology, psychological thrillers. So good. But I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I'll do some deep breathing, but like I can't do deep breathing I stay in there for like 45 minutes usually. So, but yeah, usually I listen to podcasts. I tried watching a show on it one time, but like I realized with a show, like I do need to like see the show. Like I tried watching Sex and the City in there once because I was like rewatching that. And I just kept like craning my head like to the side, like trying to see what they were doing. So I would recommend a podcast or a book on tape or something like that. But that's a great one. So you don't have to leave your house. Again, you don't have to like do any special electrician wiring or whatever. And it has so many benefits to it. The next one is my red light mask. So I like the brand Omalex. Again, they have research studies backing up their claims. So I have the Omalex Contour, which is just the red light. I originally got the clear, the Omalex Clear, which is more, it's red and blue light, which is more for acne. But I really like my acne is under control for the most part now. So I returned it and actually got the red light mask because my goal now, since my acne is under control with my root causes, working on those with the lab testing and the protocols and stuff, my goal now is proactive anti-aging. And so I do not get Botox. I have gotten it in the past before I learned about all the negative side effects of Botox. But I do not get Botox anymore because the biggest thing is it has been shown to heighten anxiety. And as someone who's a type A, already more anxious side person, I don't need that. And there's been horror stories of people getting botulism and all that kind of stuff. So to me, it's just not worth it. And so the red light mask is great along with, all the internal things like vitamin C, making sure I'm getting like fish for fatty acids, omegas, vitamin A, those types of things are really helpful for anti-aging as well. So you can do a lot with your diet and red light and like working on stress. So the red light mask specifically, the Contour is what Omalex calls it. It supports healthy collagen production and which therefore helps with proactive anti-aging, like keeping your skin like supple, and it helps with skin healing and repair. So this can help improve still. So if you're someone who like doesn't have as much active acne, but you have like the red marks, post-acne hyperpigmentation, or even like scarring, like those ice pick marks, this can be really helpful for that. And then it also helps support circulation and tissue repair to decrease inflammation. So it's one of those things too, like this was a little bit less than $400. And I use it 3 to 4 times a week. You put it on for 10 minutes and I would do it while I watch a show, use it when I'm on my laptop. But it's like a fun way to support your skin. And if you're someone who like, you do still have active acne, you could consider the clear as well, because that does have the red light and the blue light. The blue light is the thing that targets the acne. The red light is what helps with inflammation. Okay, on the smaller side. So I know those things I just talked about are relatively larger investments, like anywhere from like $400 to a couple $1,000s. If you're looking for something smaller for yourself, here are 2 things that I love. The first one is my clearly filtered water bottle. So a few weeks ago, I did a podcast about how my skin blew up when I went on a cruise and all about how water could be a trigger for your acne that you never thought about. So if you haven't listened to that, go listen to that. But I will be traveling with my clearly filtered water bottle from now on. I will even be taking this to restaurants because I found out I am super sensitive to halogens, which include fluoride, which is in the water most places. And it causes me to break out. Even if I go out to eat and just have a glass of water at dinner that has fluoride in it, I will get a pimple the next day. And it also has lots of other side effects besides just your skin. So it's just not something like that's just not worth it to me. And I would just rather have a water bottle that filters that out. So the Clearly Filtered brand has a water bottle that you can take on the go. And it has a filter in there that filters out fluoride. It filters out like pesticides, all the junk you don't want in your water. So this is something I've had clients who they break out on vacation or when they're traveling or when they go to a different city or at work. And I always ask them about this. And I'm like, let's get a water bottle with a filter to filter out that stuff. And it makes a huge difference. So the clearly filtered water bottle is great. They also have, if your water that you're drinking at home is fluoridated, which it probably is unless you have well water. They have a under the sink one filter, and then they have a whole fridge filter as well. We have well water. I actually love well water because of this, and so we don't have to worry about that. We have like a regular filter, but like we don't have fluoride in our water. But if you do, you could consider getting their whole fridge or their under the sink one as well. And then the last thing is castor oil packs. So castor oil packs, if you haven't heard of castor oil, let me start with that. Castor oil is an antioxidant rich oil that helps support the liver and lymphatic system. So it basically acts as a gentle detox. And this is great. I first got into these when I came off birth control and my liver enzymes were like really high. So this is a really good non-food, non-supplement way to support your liver. And I like the Queen of Thrones brand because you don't need a heat source. So a lot of times with castor oil packs, the way they work is that you put the oil on a pack and then you put it on your liver. So like the right side of your abdomen, I guess, like your abdomen, the right side. And then if you don't have the Queen of Thrones brand or a specific brand that like doesn't need a heat source to insulate it, you need to put like a heat pack on it because that's how like it gets into your skin, absorbs in your skin. But the Queen of Thrones brand, it's like already has insulation with it, so you just tie it on there. So this is like a really good passive way to support your detox pathways and your liver in a like really loving way. And again, it's not a food, it's not a supplement you need to add. And you just can put it on. Like I put it on under my robe at night and then I watch my Real Housewives, like, just chill. I use it for like maybe an hour, 2 hours, but you only really, if you're just starting, I would say start for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. And then you can work your way up to 1 hour or a couple hours. It doesn't really matter. Or some people wear them overnight. I don't wear them overnight because I don't want to get oil in my sheets because it is oil. But I know some people who do. So if you don't care about that, that doesn't matter. But I just I will not wear a shirt. And then I will put it on and I'll put my leggings up over it. And then I'll put my robe on because like it's my spotted robe. If you see any of my before and after skin photos on Instagram, you'll know what robe I'm talking about. I've had it since college. I feel like it's going to go viral one of these days. It's my polka dot robe. But yeah, it's a great way to support your liver and lymphatic system, which in turn helps support your skin. It helps support periods. It helps support mood, just like all the hormone things, because your liver is so important for the health of all of your hormones and therefore all of those hormone symptoms. A couple notes with this. Do not use this when pregnant or breastfeeding. Do not use castor oil packs when pregnant or breastfeeding. Same thing with the infrared sauna. Don't use that when pregnant or breastfeeding. Of course, consult with your doctor on these things, but for sure, the castor oil packs and the infrared sauna, and then maybe even the hot yoga dome, you might want to consider depending on how hot it gets. But that's something you want to make sure of. And the other thing with that is with periods, with the castor oil pack. So I've heard it's really 50-50 with this. So some people will say like, don't use castor oil packs in your period. Some people will say it helps. I've personally found for myself it's beneficial, but I've never suffered with like really painful periods. So I think it just kind of depends. And that's where working with someone to kind of figure out your root causes can be helpful, because if your painful periods are partially because of an overburdened liver, then a castor oil pack might be helpful like on your period. But sometimes people need to do it away from their actual period or the week before. They can't tolerate it on, or for some people that really helps when they're on their period to use a castor oil pack. So it really depends. The reason behind this is that it's like stimulating lymphatic drainage. And so for some people, I think it just can be like too stimulating perhaps. I don't really know, but I'm going to just stay neutral on that one. I think it's one of those things like if you have heavy periods, I would just like trial it, see if you can do it on your period if it helps. If it doesn't, then just use it on the other weeks when you're not actually actively having your period, especially the week before your period. It can be really helpful because you need some extra detox support that week, especially if there's more like estrogen dominant symptoms. So, in summary, my favorite wellness tools right now, from big to small, are my hot yoga dome, my infrared sauna, the solo sauna, the Omalex red light mask, and a couple of smaller ones are the clearly filtered water bottle and a castor oil pack. So, like I said, all of the links to the specific products with discount codes for some of them are below. And hopefully, this inspires you to do some self care, get yourself a little wellness tool because you don't need a reason. You deserve it. Okay. Hopefully this was a fun episode to listen to. If it was, feel free to like, share, review. I would really, really appreciate it. Helps more women find the show. And until next time, stay nourished, friends.